And we're live. All right, so this is going to be fun because something that we were talking about earlier this week is we just have an absolute dearth of collectible card games. There's
Right,
just
there's
not
just
enough of them.
no collectible card games.
And I was mentioning this because I saw news that the insanely popular, for as far as these things go, MOBA battlefield game, Smite. You know, you play a god and you go and you smack some little things on the head, and it's Dota. You know, except it's with gods. And they have decided that what they really need is their IP in a collectible card game format. So Smite is having a new collectible card game, and Fable has been completely disowned by Microsoft. So obviously the answer is they need to make a collectible card game. And Gwent is coming out around the corner, and just everywhere you look, collectible card games are the shit. They're like
Is
the
Gwent
hotness.
so Gwent is still not out, separate from The Witcher.
Still not out, separate from The Witcher.
Is that
It's in final beta.
okay?
They did their last rebalance quite recently, and I have that as well as part of the beta preview, so I may try that out. But we clearly need more collectible card games, so Fable Fortune comes in, and we're gonna play Fable Fortune, which is currently a game in game preview mode, and I think that's probably something we're going to spend some time talking about tonight. What the hell is game preview, and why does it exist, and why do they want you to pay money to play a game that's in game preview?
Right, and that actually allows me to complain about Steam Early Access,
Which is,
which
I
is like one
imagine,
of my
pretty similar.
favorite things to do. Yeah,
And I'm not too familiar with Steam access, early access, so you get to educate me along the way, which is great. But collectible card games are a genre that I tend to enjoy a lot, even when they're a bad collectible card game. For example, a really bad collectible card game that I have spent way too much time on, as pretty much anyone will attest to, is Lies of Astaroth, which is also an Xbox. That game is pretty awful. My time for a long time. Because it's a collectible card game, so I'm interested in playing it, even when they're terrible. I'm hopeful that this will be entertaining. Oh, that's just fantastic. And this is why it's in beta.
Early Access.
Alright, I
This is good.
suspect that this may be related to other people on my console being signed in. So I'm going to sign everyone else out, and we'll try this again and see if that fixes it. But we
All right.
may have just had the shortest stream ever.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Kronos, you were authorized to play this game. Other people are not. What are you doing playing our early access game? Stop this. Even though a license is supposed to be good for the entire console. Most of the time. It's actually thinking about it this time, which probably bodes well, but it's thinking about it for a really, really long time.
It's like when you put your password in wrong and it immediately pops back and it's like, that's not your password. And then you finally give your last ditch guess and it hangs there for a while. And you're like, oh, I made it. I remembered my password.
There's some warning there.
Pre-release
This is all
software.
pre-release. Don't take this as the final quality. It's not. So of course, it's in the Fable universe, so you have the chickens and everything else. This is gonna do. A bird is gonna poop on our head at some point. This seems really, really loud to me.
It does seem, it's really loud.
Strategy. Collectible card games are all about the strategy. What if I don't want to follow? Are you gonna tell me that next? Nope.
Frozen? No, okay.
So this is obviously, if this is the whole thing, then you seriously what? I think we were talking about this at Death Bank. You don't see games start off with demos of their game as much anymore, since arcades are no longer so much of a thing. But
That's true.
Here's another game starting up with, here, watch people playing our game. It's like Twitch in the 80s. Or is
80s
that
Twitch.
is that off brand? Should I say Mixer?
It's like 80s Mixer. 80s Mixer sounds like we should be exchanging car keys or something. Yeah.
Welcome to the Fable
Dirty
Fortune game
dancing.
preview. Play 5 games in any mode. Nobody puts Fable in the corner.
So have you played any of this yet, or?
I have never played this particular card game at all. If we do Gwent on stream, that'll be a game I've played a fair amount. I actually streamed some of it before I did this streaming with you. I was testing it out. That was when I realized I need you. I need someone to talk to.
It's
because
hard.
I'm standing there, sitting here, and I'm like, huh. And then there's 30 seconds of silence, and then I play a card, and there's 30 seconds of silence while the computer takes its turn. And I'm like, well, that was interesting. I didn't know that was going to happen. These are cards I've never played with before. So there's no interaction, and it's so boring. So you help make this stream much more entertaining and, frankly, bearable for everyone.
Well, I
Except
mean,
possibly
my actual in real life job is talking for a living about bullshit. So, there you go.
So I have a card collection. Obviously, I have no cards yet. I have packs that I can open, apparently. So they'll sell me cards in packs. If you want to play this in preview, game preview, they want you to buy it for $13, I think is the price. And for that, you get some free packs to play around with. But if you don't pay, you can still play, which is where I am as well. I think those packs are the $13, actually. So I'm surprised it says I have packs. Because I shouldn't, because I didn't pay any money. Unless Microsoft is taking money out of my account that I don't realize. That'll be entertaining. Come back to this and they're like, hey, you just bought Fable Fortune. I did what?
Well, paying people for pre-release, or making people pay for pre-release, is something really kind of unique to the game industry.
Yeah.
I don't see it in other
industries. It's absolutely
industries.
unique in the game industry. The closest thing that you could say it relates to is like sponsorship by patrons of art in the olden days. It's like, hey, you're a really good artist. I want you to paint me a painting. And I know you're a starving artist, so here's 5 guineas, and I'll give you 5 more when it's done, right?
Right. Because you have to buy the paint because you're super poor.
Exactly.
And that's why they did that. Yeah.
And the food
And then,
to eat while you're painting it.
Right. And then once you're no longer super poor and you're famous, they still patronize you because they don't want you painting paintings for their rivals. Especially if we're talking about like Florentine or Venetian type of times.
Right. I've got, or this is even for the Hollywood studio system, where the actors were basically beholden to the studios. You can't work for them unless we authorize it, because we're in charge of making sure that your image is what we want it to be in our pictures.
Right, and you'll date who we say to date.
Or at least pretend to.
Pretend to, right.
So which of these decks should I play as? I have no idea what any of them do, so which one
You
seems
should
the
be
most
the
entertaining?
Gravedigger.
Gravedigger? Alright.
Yeah.
Temple is living proof that you don't need much to become a hero. I guess that's my name is Temple. Just the talking, spell-slinging skull of your great-great-great-grandfather.
So you're basically the Dresden Files guy.
Except I'm a chick, and is that his great-great-great-grandfather? But yeah, not a good sign. I don't like the Dresden series. I'm going to get a lot of flack for that if anybody ever actually watches this. Full deck.
I only read one book. And I saw some of the show because I do actually like the Irish actor who plays him.
They really turned it into a show? I know they turned it into a comic book.
Oh, yeah, they turned it into a show. I think there's only one season, though. And I just watched it because I like that actor, and if there's more than one season, I don't know about it.
So yeah,
finding an ally is taking
yeah, because
a
this is
while.
supposed to be cooperative, so this is probably actually looking for another human being who's actually playing the game right now, who is looking for a cooperative play, but we seem to have found somebody.
Yay!
Great. Okay.
I feel like I
Choose your
know
path.
everything now. Unwelcome guests. Just gonna
And
shout out
already...
random shit.
That sounds good to me. Someone 1 unit with gold cost 6 or more. That sounds great.
This will
need
give
some
everyone
cheap stuff. That sounds good to me. I'll play him later. This is fine. I have a 2. I have a 3. I can draw into a 4. Then I got a 5. And I can draw on some other stuff. I don't know if I'm playing by myself or not.
Yeah, you're not.
No, there's someone else
There's
here.
an alchemist with you.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing anything. Apparently we just got hit. Tattooist. Okay, I got a tattoo.
Maybe we should have read the destructions.
No, what's the fun of that? Give adjacent units +1 strength. Rush. Do this first. Then the nope, not the lootist. The tattooist. Then, there we go. And then you go attack. Turn there because we don't have good attack. Oh, I gotta get closer so I can actually see this thing.
Do you still have a tiny TV?
Yes. I'll probably have a tiny TV through November. I'm thinking that Black Friday will be the time when we can maybe get a new one. Hey, how did he attack? Don't you have to attack through? Guess not. I guess our creatures don't have the equivalent of taunt. Well, it's our friend's turn, so... That seemed to be fairly effective. Not sure that was beneficial.
Oh, thank you.
You have... Okay, so... What are these symbols? Got a hostage. Hello. Okay, what do I have? I have Pierced Looter. That doesn't do good. 1 damage to all units. Not very good. I can't read that because the chat thing's over it, but that probably is what we want to cast.
It's a stag beetle.
It's a 5/4.
Oh, right. You need descriptions of things because you don't have all this memorized.
It's fine. I don't
'Cause
think I
it's
want to
new.
attack that. Yeah, brand new. I've never seen any of these cards. And vaguely, you know, it's collectible card. You know certain things just because you play these variants a lot. Okay, so the X and the Y abilities are active now. I don't know what they do. They cost gold. Hey, we seem to be winning.
Thank you. No.
Come on our turf!
Alright, I have 5. Something strength. For 1 damage to all units, not particularly useful. Another Fierce Looter. 7, 5. so long as you're spending all your mana or this game gold efficiently, you're probably going to do okay. That guy looks like a really sleazy cop from the 1970s. Uh-oh. We all have chickens over our heads.
Are you knocked out?
Yeah, it means they probably can't attack. Because otherwise we'd win right now. I mean, there really ought to be a tutorial for this. I thought I was playing something like a tutorial, but it's not in actuality.
This is like pulled straight out of Looney Tunes or Who Framed Roger Rabbit with the birds circling your head.
I don't know what the eulogy keyword means, but it's probably important. Alright, well, it wasn't. That said, we win.
Hooray! Us.
Hooray us! Did we do something? We're not entirely sure. Did we play well?
We have no idea.
I leveled up twice. I
Wow.
got guild seals. I got 2 card packs? Holy cow. That seems like a lot.
Plus 52 experience. Look, they're just trying to butter you up because they want you to buy the game when it comes out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that they want you to spend money on a collectible card.
Digital
game.
collectible card game. You don't even
Digital
have cards.
collectible.
This game
Yeah,
will completely
you're not-
cease to exist sometime in the next 50 years. Anything you spend on it
Yeah.
will not be playable, will not exist, the cards won't exist, the artwork is not going to exist except on some random corner of the internet where somebody remembers these things. Oh, hey, look, there's this training thing. I should probably start there.
You should. Should put it on hard though, because you're a gamer.
Yeah, fine. Because I'm a gamer.
God.
I will never live that down. That is so good. Let's do Gravedigger again so we can actually figure out what we're doing. LT, exhume. Summon a 1/1 crumbling corpse with rush that dies at the end of turn. Okay, so that's not bad, actually. Comparing this to something like Hearthstone, where the Paladin hero power is summon a 1/1 for 2 mana, this is a summon a 1/1 that has haste. Rush means they can attack that turn, so that's definitely better. So there's a slightly higher power level in this game than other card games, I would say, of a similar nature, but it seems pretty similar so far. So, setting up battle, we're going against our teacher. He's going to show us. He's the guild master. He's going to be like, let me tell you how the game's actually played.
He's a grizzled veteran.
He's
He used
20.
to be an adventurer like you until he took an arrow to the knee.
You know, he's not actually 20. He's level 20. That's what it is. So,
He's probably also 20. If Japanese RPGs have taught me anything, it's that the 20-year-olds are over-the-hill grizzled veterans.
cast 3 spells that cost 1 or more. I don't play 3 units with more strength than health. Spend 18 gold. That seems likely. Still spend money. Last laugh. Duh. So that's last laugh is death rattle. Okay. Necroblast is pretty good. Eulogy. This card does something extra when you play it. If a creature died. Okay. Let's get rid of these things. You're too expensive. You're not useful until later. Also, you start with 3 gold, which is much more than oh, and for some reason I start with a chicken. And my hero power is Exhume. And what's the... What's the X do? Well, I put some sort of shield on it. Bright Spark. Oh. Alright. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. I actually am not paying attention at all.
All right. Well, then you talk about the
Since you know
craziness that
I
is these things.
don't-
Yeah, card games are so your
don't-
thing.
I've never actually played one. They could very well be my secret hidden thing that I just don't know is my thing. When we finally do Hearthstone like you want, could be that it awakens something weird in me.
I
Just
never
like
knew how big this was.
when I played Grand Theft Auto 4 the first time and was like, wow. I've never played anything like this. But did not finish Grand Theft Auto 5, so apparently not a fan of the series. Just a fan of that game. Okay, so
because I'm going to eat a chicken.
Fable wants you to pay money to buy their collectible card game so they can sell you card packs.
Which will work for as long as those card packs are in existence, which will be the life of the game, but it will go away. It will not last forever. Even if it's a smashing success, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, it's going to be Magic the Gathering has existed for 25 years now. It's beyond all comprehension. But even that, it will cease to be a game at some point. But at least people still have their cards.
Right. So if you want to keep playing Magic, as long as you know people who have cards, you can. Once it ceases to exist.
Oh, that's a creature. Oh, whoops. I thought that was a spell. That also didn't work the way I wanted it to. I completely hosed that. Oh, I'm playing really badly here.
You're also playing on hard against the
also,
Guildmaster.
Yeah, let's go with evil. Just cause.
Okay, so for me to know how irritated I should be with the existence of this particular game, if you buy card packs in this alpha beta version, do you get to keep them when the final game comes out?
You will keep them, or at the very worst, if for some reason they balance things around and say you can't have your card pack anymore, you'll get brand new packs at the start of the system. That's what they did with Gwent, for example. They said, okay, all the cards you collected, no. But for every card you have, you get a pack.
Got it. So if you grinded for your packs, you don't have to re-grind. And if you bought them, then you're not out of money.
Yep.
Now, was that something that they promised, or is that something you assume based on how Gwent went?
That's something I would assume, because you're right, I am assuming.
Anything that CD Projekt Red does, another developer will do.
Follow, yeah.
Since they're kind of weird.
I would love to know how many cards he has in his hand. Let's be able to see. That's a really big creature. That's a problem.
Totally unrelated. Something not totally unrelated. Something I found out is that Magic has a service where you can send them a bunch of money and tell them what kind of game you would like to play, but you're really bad, and they'll put decks together for you.
Interesting.
Put them in the optimal order to play and stuff like that. All ready to go in a card holder of some kind. I imagine that's expensive.
Yeah, I mean that kind of personalized service usually comes with strength. It's pretty good.
Plus, you would probably have to pay for all the cards that they put together for you.
Naturally.
Yeah.
So a lot of just something that matters for games like this is card advantage, and if you have more cards than your opponent, you tend to do pretty well. That's the bottom line. The problem with a game like this right now is I can't see how many cards he has in his hand, I can't see how many cards he has in his deck. I see images for our deck spots, but I can't see how many are in them, and I certainly can't see his. So that's not great. So I already have that one, so I'm going to do this one now? Or it doesn't seem like it gets any better. I'm so confused right now. This is a really bad tutorial, by the way.
I was gonna say, I do not feel like I know how to play the game, having watched this tutorial. Like, I feel like this is a tutorial that presumes you understand some basics about collectible card games. Thank you.
Now this is going to work. This time it's actually going to work. I actually planned this one out a little bit better. Why can I cast something that cost... Oh, I have 6 left. Okay. And now I have the board, and now I don't. And there's something especially bad about digital games, where they're inherently ephemeral. You know, the Magic the Card game, as you were saying, they're always going to be there. And
right.
Hearthstone,
well,
as much as I love Hearthstone, it won't necessarily.
This, you know, this semi-relates to my job, so it's something I know a lot about, but... Whatever the latest... Oh, this is the best way to store digital... This is how we're going to store them. That never lasts. And paper is still the best storage for archival purposes. Better than, you know, for gold CDs.
Yep.
That they were forever, and they were going to be. That's what we were going to definitely use. No one has them now. You know, I remember when we did that scanning conversion project at work. The guy was like, "We're going to put everything in a TIFF. TIFFs are the best." And I'm like, "Whatever."
He was an
idiot. You know. So, paper is the most stable medium, and we've talked about this as regards to copyright in games, and digital versus physical. You know, how I like to have a disc, if I can have a disc. If the game comes on a disc, I want a disc. That doesn't totally help me if it has to check in with a server for DRM, but at least, you know.
Because we've definitely talked about that on a number of different situations, so yeah, it's concerning. And these games are especially bad for that, so... other concerns for this. This is now a game preview game, so we were starting to talk about that at the top of the show. Game preview means that it's a beta. It's a beta of, you know, that's what we call betas now, apparently. At least on the Xbox ecosystem.
Early access.
So they are free to change everything in this. So I could spend a ton of real money buying the best cards, and then tomorrow they could make all those best cards completely worthless, and there's no recourse. There's never any recourse, but there's especially no recourse when it comes to this. And it's really egregious. Not that they do that much, they try to avoid doing that, but there's no reason that they couldn't. And that should be concerning.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about, in general, the concept of buying unfinished games whether it's game preview or early access, which is Steam's. GOG has it too now, although theirs is a little bit different than Steam's because it's still curated and tested by them, because every game that they sell is curated and tested. So versus Steam, where there's no curation or testing, but it's still selling on Steam. You know, even CD Projekt is selling unfinished games. So the advantage of buying an unfinished game is what exactly?
It is you get to
play
experience
it
the thing
else.
early. So that's always the thing. Gamers love playing new games. They love it so much that
Right.
you know, old games are completely forgotten. You know, you go to an art museum, and it's not the new stuff, generally speaking. It's the old stuff that people care about. In this kind of situation, it's all about what's the new experience, and they want to be on the cutting edge. One of the reasons why, of course, that I'm even streaming this is that because I'm hopeful that a couple of people will be interested in seeing this. Maybe they don't want to join up for the preview program, but they just want to see what it's like, how much like Hearthstone is it if they play Hearthstone, how much like Magic is it if they play Magic. Is it something that works? Is it fun? And newness matters a lot to video games, much more so than any other art. And the other thing is that you want to support the developer. Back to that patron thing that we were talking about. You want, if you say, hey, Microsoft was wrong to kill the Fable project and fire Peter Molyneux, and I believe in Peter, not that he has anything to do with this game, by the way. He's
no
off.
one believes in Peter Molyneux.
He's in Tahiti, as far as I know.
Yeah. Who even knows what's going on with him? I'm gonna Google it. He's probably promising people things
Something crazy
somewhere
that he
Yeah.
follows through on and does horribly
Oh
with.
my gosh, he's gonna go into business with like Elon Musk. He's the other Peter Molyneux type. Okay, so I am in the Amazon Preview program. Do you know what this is?
No.
Amazon pays people actual money to watch a variety of different things.
An invalid
Pilots,
request.
the thinking of green lighting. Shows, read through storyboards of things that might get pilots.
Okay, so yeah, we actually had talked about this before. I just forgot. So you're
Right.
a test audience to say no, this doesn't appeal to anybody. You're an idiot.
Right.
Or
Right.
you and I being more on the margins. Hey, it appeals to us. There's some margin, but maybe it's not a huge one. Versus the person who's part of the mainstream saying, "Oh, love this. You got a hit." Do I have to watch this whole thing again? That'd be annoying. Okay, good.
And so basically, it's a focus group, is what it is.
Right.
And what you do is you watch Amazon shows early and tell Amazon your thoughts on them. And they pay you money. And it works out to about $10 an hour,
It's pretty good.
I would say. Which, if you enjoy it, is nice. You know, you're like, thanks for the $35.
But if you don't like it, you're having to watch it to get money, and it's a tedious thing. But then at least at the end, you get to tell them why what idiots they are for trying to think this was a good idea.
Right.
I could.
And there's confidentiality involved, and there's not NDAs involved. And actually, we recently got an email that someone NDA, and so they want us all to re-review the policies. They don't appear to be doing anything other than that.
Everyone re-reviews, but the people who actually broke it probably got terminated.
Yeah.
Extreme prejudice.
If they figure it out, yeah.
Well, yeah, they can probably figure it out.
Yeah,
But
they
it's also
probably
a
know. Well,
warning
they
to
know.
you.
They know what show was leaked.
Mm-hmm.
They know who works on that show. What's interesting about it is some of the shows line up with my expression. Some of them are very much stuff I that Amazon knows I hate. So they're interested in hearing from people who
Have different
don't
reviews.
think they would like that show. And does it appeal to them anyway? And I can be pretty savage because I'm so picky.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
you are.
like, you know, the attention span of a fruit fly. So, and I'm picky.
Oh, this
So,
was a bad
really
hit.
awful.
So bad.
But this is an example of something outside the gaming industry where Amazon's like, okay, let's test these shows on some people, see how they like them, based on that. And they pay me instead of the other way around. And I really think that beta testing, alpha testing, that should be at least free or compensated. And early access, game preview, that kind of stuff is a way to get beta testing, alpha testing, depending on how developed your game is, not just for free, but actually for money.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee these games ever come out in a full version.
No, some games have been in the game preview of this area for a really long time. I'm saying years. It's pretty impressive.
Like, I'm thinking of Ark Survival Evolved on Steam, which is probably one of the most successful early access games. And it might still be in early access. No. Well, I was going to say no. Because it says that there's going to be a PS4 launch, but that doesn't mean it's out of early access on Steam.
Nope.
So let me go look at it on Steam.
Ark sounds like it finally did come out because it's on Xbox as well. It was in game access for a long time on Xbox, and I'm pretty sure it's out for real. But again, not entirely sure, right? That's a fast attack. I'm gonna die horribly here.
Okay, so it is still tagged as an early access game on Steam. And what the developers have to say, Ark is a huge game in terms of geographical space, scope of content, features, technology. We're a veteran team, blah blah blah. I mean, so anyway, this is a good game. You know, it's got a 6 out of 10 on Steam. That's made by people who actually professionally make video games. It's been in early access for 2 years. I don't see the benefit to the developers for ever taking it out of early access on Steam.
Unless they can somehow increase the audience.
Right. Maybe there's some kind of metric that Steam's like, early access only does this well, even if they're really good games.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about for players. Is there some player out there who says, well, it's early access, so I'm not actually going to play it? There is some reason not to play an early access game on the Xbox ecosystem, in that, yes, you still pay for the game and you have access to it, but it's clearly not finished. It doesn't have all the Xbox Live functionality that you expect from games. So, for example, there are no achievements in this game right now. And I know that doesn't matter to a lot of folks, but as we know, it matters to me. So, no achievements means not going to get a whole lot of money from me, at least. 63 is bad. What can I do about that?
So, Supergiant Games released a new game a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, yes, I was very excited about this.
Yes.
It's released for PC and PlayStation 4.
It's PC on Windows, Linux, or Mac OS, and PS4.
Yeah, I was seeing the early work on that, and they announced it. It looked great, but a game that I didn't have a deadline for, and they're Supergiant and Microsoft, whatever's going on there,
They're
is
not
still going on at least a
besties.
little bit. They're not besties.
It appears to still be going on. Yeah, whatever it is, it appears to not be resolved.
But it isn't as bad as it had been. So good for them.
Yeah, I don't think
Anyone
so.
else smell burning?
I think the enmity was most apparent when Transistor came out,
Yeah, that was the moment.
and when people were like, "When's this coming to Xbox?" and he was like, "Over my dead body."
Not exactly, but yeah,
Point.
basically. Didn't that thing have like reanimate on it? Why didn't it happen? I don't know what's going on anymore. I have the general gist of the game, but sometimes things are like, nah.
Transistor still doesn't have an Xbox version. I'm guessing it's just at this point it's not going to, right? I mean, it's
Right.
It's a 3-year-old
Seems not.
game.
But they brought Bastion back for the Xbox One update, so there's that. So it's maybe. And if Transistor
Maybe.
comes to Xbox, I'll buy it again because
Well, yeah, you did get it on sale from
from GOG.
the PC, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, so Supergiant, that game's actually out. It looked really good, and of course, once again, Supergiant, great production values, fantastic soundtrack. I'm expecting good things. So how is it reviewing?
Pyre currently has... No. Apparently I've done something... I can't go back to my original search for Pyre. Alright, so
Are you
it's
in
got
Bing
an
again?
85 on
Are you
Metacritic.
bingling?
I'm bingling. I'm bingling.
What's this Metacritic? 75?
85.
85. That's actually really
85. IGN did 9.7 out of 10, which is such a bullshit, useless score.
good. Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 on Steam.
Which
And that's going to be
this will
aggregated
segue
around
nicely into
reviewers.
ratings when we're done. But
Oh yeah, that's true, because we were going to talk about ratings.
Yep.
If we talked about Hellblade.
Make it quick!
But yeah, I do kind of want to talk about Hellblade a little bit, because
Is this thing safe?
Is it safe? I don't know. I feel like he's waiting
probably
for us to
not.
answer.
It's a lit bomb. Odds are no.
Because there's two games that Hellblade reminded me of when my sister and I were playing it. And those two games were Lollipop Chainsaw and The Order 1886. And the reason it reminded me of Lollipop Chainsaw is because the protagonist carries her boyfriend's skull around her belt, hanging from her belt, from the back of her belt specifically, which is where the protagonist of Lollipop Chainsaw hangs her boyfriend's head. So it's like a creepy, gritty version of Lollipop Chainsaw. And then it reminded me of The Order 1886 because it was a small contained plot.
I think it broke. Can you hear? Alright, looks like we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Okay, so that is what game preview is all about. And you're going to have those kinds of things happen. I had that effect that, I killed my own creature, which I don't know if they expected that or not, on a eyes did something, and that something then's like, no, I don't know how to process this. The whole game crashed. It took Mixer down with it. It apparently took Mixer down in the browser for Des, so that was a crash and a half. I don't think I can blame all of that on Fable and the Fable programming team, but clearly they're still working out some bugs.
Yeah, it sounds like something caused your Xbox to do upset Mixer, yeah, and then that upset Edge,
Yeah, my guess is
And it was
that
just
because
dominoes.
Mixer is broadcasting the game, when the game crashed, Mixer said, I don't have anything to broadcast, and instead of doing what it usually does, which is that, splash screen, it's like, no, the game's gone. I quit. I'm out.
Yeah, I quit. I've actually been murdered.
Alright, so the PvP, I was losing. I did pretty well. I do something other than the Gravedigger. I'm playing on easy with somebody, so that Knight deck looked fun, but let's try the Alchemist, because that's I like alchemy. So the Miracle was the
because
person
you have
that
a
we were
chemistry
playing.
degree.
Yeah, why do I have a chemistry degree, though? Because I always loved alchemy, right?
Oh, well, that's not a great motivation.
It's not a good reason.
No.
Isaac
Not a good
Newton
reason.
loved alchemy. He was all about his alchemy, and that's why he went insane.
Well, and why is he most well known for physics? Because alchemy is bullshit.
Yes,
That's why.
a genius spent a really long time and a ton of his effort trying to prove and do things that didn't work. And that shows that they don't work. This is why he had so much more success in mathematics and physics, where his work did work. But yeah, it was his alchemy work, where he was playing around with Quicksilver all the time, that drove him insane.
Yeah. I had a class called History of Scientific Thought or something like that, and it was a survey of scientific ideas through the years, and we started with Aristotle. I remember when we got to Newton and we had to read Principles of Mathematics or something like that.
Ouch.
Which is where he invented calculus, I
Yes.
think.
Well, him or
yeah.
Leibniz, so, I mean... But that's a tough
Yeah.
book.
Oh, it was horrible. It was awful, awful, awful.
You're
I was
reading
just
the
like,
mad
no.
ramblings of a genius who is, intellectually superior to us, and it's just impenetrable. It's like, not
Yeah.
only are you speaking basically a dead language compared to me at this point, it's close enough that I'm expected to know it without a translation. And you're talking about concepts that are so arcane in the truest sense of the word that almost no one can understand them without a lot of practice. And no, that's rough.
That one was bad, and there was another one that I really didn't like. I liked Aristotle's physics, actually.
Because you read it in
That one
English
was-
translation, right? You weren't trying to read it
we didn't read it
in the Greek
Yeah.
and the
yeah.
and the Hellenic, right?
Yeah. And also because I'd previously studied Aristotle in philosophy, and he approached physics the same way he approached everything. So once you kind of know how he structures arguments, it's the same when he's talking about physics as it is when he's talking about ethics
And that
or
makes
whatever.
sense. The Greeks were very much, especially philosophically in those days, about, okay, I understand the thing, so now I'm going to take this thing that I understand and apply it to everything, which is why you have Heraclitus and people like him saying that one thing is everything.
Yeah, and Aristotle's thing was he always specifies, or not specifies, but distinguishes between the best thing and the most practical thing. So there's like a section in physics where he's talking about he's considering the question of whether or not it's better to know how to build a bridge or whether or not it's better to understand Parmenides' problem. And his answer is it's more practical to know how to build a bridge, but it's the greater good, the better thing to understand Parmenides' problem.
Yep.
It's a weird, I don't know how we got on that.
Segue is what we do. So let's bring it back. We were starting to talk about ratings. And so one of the things that we were talking about was that Jim Sterling reviewed this game that you were talking about. Or was it a different game?
Right.
I'm not sure. Where he ended up
Hellblade.
giving it a bad review because he experienced a unpleasant and unexpected game-breaking bug where basically he had played through a significant portion of the game, reached a point where the autosave file put him in a place where he couldn't go forward and couldn't go back, and thus was completely useless. He had to start the game over again.
Right. And in a fit of anger, he gave the game 1 star because of that. Then reflected on it, thought that wasn't fair because that puts it on the same review level as all the shovelware on Steam that he gives 1
Digital
star.
Homicide got a 1 star.
Like Digital Homicide got a 1 star, exactly.
Is this Digital Homicide? It's not that bad.
Right. And so he was like, okay, that's not fair. So he contacted Metacritic, and what they did is they have something that's like an incomplete. And so that's what it got.
Which
Last
I
I
think,
checked, I don't know where it is now.
Calling that incomplete would be a fair thing because it's a patch. They'll patch that thing. The developer looks at it and says, "Oh yeah, we need to have a better save system around this particular event," and they can handle that. That shouldn't be too hard for them to do. But this got us to talking about a philosophical thing of how should you rate a game that breaks and can't be beaten, perhaps without replaying the game, perhaps never. I can imagine a game where I make a choice and that choice leads to a game state that is perpetually broken, and there's no way around it except making a different choice, perhaps because the game was tested enough to make sure that it worked and got out to production. But there's also games that just are completely broken. So those 3 categories of games: good games, games that are broken based on a choice, and always broken games, all deserve different ratings. But what
other words,
abstract rating did they deserve?
Stuff by Digital Homicide gets a 1, because it literally doesn't work because it's crap.
It's practically designed not to work. It's almost intended not to work.
Right.
We want to make the worst game we possibly can, just because
for free.
We want to see what we can do to piss you off to the point where we can sue you for libel.
Right. Yeah. And make some money from that. So, and then I'm trying to think if I ever had. I do have a game where I had a bug that I couldn't complete without either significant backtracking. I want to say there's something in Dragon Age Origins that will prevent you from getting an achievement.
Well, achievements missable achievements are a thing. Those are not going to be the issue because plenty of games have missable achievements, and RPGs frequently have achievements for branching paths. Like you get to a choice, and there's an achievement at the end of the choice, whichever way you go, but there's different results, and each of those results has a different achievement. That's fine. That's not game breaking. They all work.
I think it's a bug, though.
Yeah.
In other words, no one can get that achievement because it's just bugged.
Right, that choice ends up being invalid or something.
Right.
Then that's more of an issue.
You can't.
I'm going to take a quick pause here. Let's get back to the ratings, but this is absurdly long. And this is the next problem that you're experiencing.
Time.
First, you're in game preview. So how many people are playing it? This game is predicated on having other humans to play with. Either for this co-op mode or for the PvP mode, there's no real play against the computer. Because programming an AI for these games is oftentimes pretty sophisticatedly hard. It's not an easy thing to do. The Blizzard team has built some Hearthstone AIs for single-player adventures, and they're usually pretty bad. They make horrible plays until they get tweaked, and even then, they make bad plays. They make inefficient plays. There are people who played with bots in Hearthstone, and the bots could beat bad players, but that's it.
Right.
AI is hard to program for these things because the games are complex. They're not chess complex.
Just imagining the Boolean gates for something like Hearthstone is exhausting.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And then if you're not building all that in. So anyway, if this game doesn't have a population, it will die. Whereas other collectible card games that have single-player content, they're going to be fine. Gwent suffers from this as well. But there seems to be a more robust community there already. And when the marketplace is saturated with these, when we have 5 or 6 and they all feature online, happen.
Right.
All right, so that didn't work. Anyway, back to your rating story. Sorry, I just wanted to talk about that.
Okay, so yeah, the question was, there's games that are bad, genuinely bad, and then there's games that kind of have a problem. Distinguish between games that are genuinely bad and games that have a problem that's serious, but were it to be fixed, there's a non-issue. And then also for reviewers, just again as a philosophical thing, I mean, they can only rate what they've been given, or purchased, depending on the reviewer. So, you know, shouldn't the released version of a game not require a patch? You know, we're going to talk about day one patches and that sort of thing, which is another issue. You know, the games now are released in more and more incomplete
And they
states.
can patch up, and that's something even Diablo 3, one of my favorite games, was... There were so many problems at launch, and it took them not just patches and patches and patches, but really an expansion pack, an additional game on top of your game to make it work. And even Diablo 2 had a similar thing where it wasn't really finished until you started playing the expansion pack in that. So this is not a new thing, and this is, again, unique to video games. What author is going to say, okay, I wrote my book, pay me for it, and I'll continue to write it, and you'll get one chapter a month for the next year, and then we'll be done.
Well, or, and this is the case this came up in Final Fantasy 15, people complained that there was a section of the game that felt really rushed, and the dev was like, yeah, no, you're right, that section sucked. I feel really bad about it. Maybe we'll patch it. We'll patch the story when we do a story patch on it. And at that point, it's like, that's like if George R.R. Martin broke into your house, took your copy of Fire and Ice or whatever the hell off your shelf, ripped a chapter out, and glued in a new one. Like, that's even... You know, that's not the game you played. That's not the game you sold me. You're just gonna keep changing it and changing it? No, well, we weren't satisfied.
It's definitely odd.
Delay it then, man. Like, no one's forcing you to put it out.
Yeah, and this self-balderization, I mean, I could go on forever talking about self-censorship in general. Alright, what's my hero power? I don't want the Ferryman, I want my hero power. LT. Concoct. Add a vial to your hand. Alright, that sounds good. Let's do that, because I don't think anything else I want to do. Nope. Unit plus 5 health. Huckster. Yes, let's do that.
Satisfaction guaranteed. No.
But back to the ratings. Incomplete makes a lot of sense. If the game isn't finished, giving it an incomplete rating, hey, good choice.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how Metacritic aggregates that, but it's definitely gotta be better for the devs than a 1. So...
Yes. You get a pointy stick. And then...
My latest scribblings.
Then go smack that guy.
Uh-oh.
You hit the Guildmaster.
This.
Vial of Restoration.
Even with that, I still bought the game pretty much on launch, which is rare for me. And it was mostly because I really like the idea of a AAA game that
is its own reward.
was $30 at launch. and that was designed to be a smaller contained experience similar to what we would think of an indie game having, but it's still a AAA game.
Right, so I'm a fan of games that are well priced or exciting. I'm right there with you. I didn't know this game in particular, and the fact that it has a bug, yeah. I am not the person who says that even a game-breaking bug is going to completely destroy the rating. I gave you my list of ratings, which I have had publicized for a while, and I try to stay consistent with that. And it really depends on the quality of the game and how bad the bug is, and those ratings can change. I tend to play games late anyway, and if the bug's still there when I play it, and I don't think it's going to be patched, it will absolutely affect my rating, but most of the time I suspect it'll be patched, so that takes care of it.
Well, I knew about the bug, and I knew it was related to torches. So anytime I had a torch, I was like hyper vigilant about what I was doing and being aware of my surroundings. And I knew the instant I got to the area where he created this, or ran into this problem, I knew the second exactly what he'd done. I knew I hadn't done it, and I knew I was in the clear.
Good to go.
But just how he described it, the second I got to this area, I was like, oh, it's gotta be this. It's gotta be this. I don't think it's a bug that no one else will get, but I don't think it's a bug that will be super common either. And I think it's something that critics, because they are not playing the game in the same way that a game player is playing a game, they have a lot of other thoughts, things that they're analyzing, that sort of thing. I think they're probably more prone to having a problem in this area of the game.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, probably good. Because, you know, now Reddit knows there's a bug there, and
You'll find this old
save yourself.
propping up the bar on most nights.
Alright, so he's got a big old dude now. I'm actually curious how many creatures I can have on the board at one time. But I may not be able to find
There
out.
needs to be a Beastmaster.
I don't want to do that because that will absolutely... It's my... Ooh, yes. That'll be great. Health? Yes. Heal you up. There we go. File in here. Smack you. Then heal you. And then go team.
I'm trying to think if I've ever played a game I would have given 1 star to.
I definitely have.
Red.
Oh yeah, that's pretty bad.
Oh my god, that game is terrible.
My child.
Oh, that's a big creature.
I
Put him down.
you know, and I really liked Octodad.
Okay, so 6 is the limit. I can only have 6 creatures on the board. Smack you, so I can do this. Overkill! You, honey, you've been a, jerk. You get fun. Yeah, I've played a number of games that have been that bad and have earned their really low rating. But I try to be fair, and my goal in rating is not, in fact, to just rate games good or bad based on their quality, but to try and differentiate between those levels of games, because some games are really, really good and some games are really, really bad, but most of them are actually just in the middle. For example, I would say this is a mediocre game. If it doesn't have people playing it, it's going to be really bad. And even if there are people playing it, the ceiling on this game is... It's a Fable-flavored Hearthstone. It has so many of the same mechanics. I don't think it does anything better and doesn't seem to do a whole lot worse, but why would I spend my time playing this game when I could just play Hearthstone? Well, what does it have that Hearthstone doesn't have? Right now, nothing. When it is out of its game preview mode and it has achievements, well, then I'll probably be playing it.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of reminds me of that chart about what people, the gamers on Steam, and who owns how many games.
Right,
and,
it's Call of Duty and Dota.
It was mostly that people who own Dota own very few games, compared to other people, and it's because, well, if you like MOBAs, you're gonna play Dota or League, or I guess Blizzard has theirs now, Heroes of the Storm, or Smite, but really it's Dota or League, right? Okay, and that's it. You're not going on Steam once a month like, I need a MOBA to play. Because there's no point to that, because you got to build up your skills and build up your team and whatever. And I think collectible card games are going to be similar. Why, if you have all of this money invested in Hearthstone, would you restart an investment in another game?
Wow, that's some dedication,
Ypod's driving. We appreciate it, Ypod. Please don't kill yourself, though.
Yes, no. You can catch this on YouTube later on. You won't have missed much. I'm probably just gonna crack open a pack here. We're just about done. See what the pack opening looks like. But yeah, it's a collectible hard game. It feels a lot like Hearthstone, like I was saying. It's just not any better than Hearthstone. And so we are going to get to the point where the market is saturated with this kind of game very, very quickly. And honestly, it may have been saturated with Hearthstone, because Hearthstone came out of nowhere, is a good game, and anyone coming after them is just copycatting.
It's just me too.
Oh, you made money doing this? Can I make money? I'd want to make money.
It's like anything. Call of Duty, for example, inspired 18 bajillion.
Same exact ripoff. You don't know how much this is a Hearthstone ripoff.
I don't, because I've literally never played Hearthstone. And I've watched a Hearthstone video in my entire life, and it's
was that the
sent it to me. It was the one where some Hearthstone Grandmaster champion was playing with some lady, and
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's good, and that was, I know why I said it to you, because I wanted to have that conversation about the gender inequality going on there. But I thought that for sure you showed me the one that was the Smoosh TV people.
Oh, the Smosh people.
I don't know who these people are.
Yeah. the Honest Trailer for Hearthstone.
Honest Trailer for Hearthstone.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Now looking at this, the game certainly probably has different rarities. These card games all have different rarities. I can't tell you what the rarities are. I can see this one's for Knight, this one's for Neutral, and this one's for Gravediggers, but I can't tell because what's the marker? Is it the orange color at the bottom, or is it something else?
I'm gonna bingle it for you.
Thank you.
What's this called? Fable Fortune?
Fable Fortune's rarity. That ought to be. But yeah, I got a card for Knights, I got a card for the Gravedigger, and 3 neutral cards. What did I get? Heartless Dancer.
I found a chart.
Oh, goody. That probably indicates that it's not on the card, then.
Okay. White is basic. Green is common. Blue is rare. Purple is epic. Orange is mythic.
Uh-huh.
And Fabled, which is red, is the best.
Okay.
So basically it's exactly the same as Borderlands, with the addition of the Fabled as
the red at the top.
So the red at the top.
This this Knight card is not just a Knight card, but it also looks like it's my orange card, so that's a pretty good card. Theoretically, give Deflect to one of your units with 1 strength. Deflect, I'm guessing, is like a Divine Shield
If you
effect.
tell me the name of the card,
Self-defense
I can look it
training.
up on the self.
So
apparently it's not
I'm teaching
on this
chickens
wiki
Krav Maga.
page. You're teaching chickens Krav Maga? Oh, because they're what's the number? I can't look it up.
I closed it.
Oh
It may
my
not
gosh,
have
you ruined
yeah.
everything.
It's all over. So green, blue, epic, reformed criminal.
That's good.
When the unit is undamaged, it has -4 strength. Interesting. Hob bomber. Oh hey, red! I got a fabled. The hero of Oakvale. Wow.
Okay. So self-defense training. Oh, they're not telling me anything about them when I find them on the card.
But you did find it.
But I did find it, yeah.
Okay.
What's this one?
Hero of Oakvale. So that's the hero from Fable 1. Which has an ability called Mortality, which I don't understand, because, yeah. Anyway. So that's what opening packs looks like. Apparently I got some good ones. Maybe.
The hero of Oakvale is quite nice.
Yep.
Yeah. You got some pretty decent cards, all things considered.
Yeah, no, I had an okay time playing it. The downside is the lack of population, which is twofold. I mean, even playing something like Magic the Gathering Duels, which I've enjoyed playing, there's often times when I have to wait for a game because the population of people wanting to play Magic on Xbox just not that high. And as a result, the game suffers because so much of it is designed to be played online against other people. And this is going to suffer that same fate, and even worse when it's in game preview. And then it has all the other game preview aspects going on as well.
Well,
I don't know how much more I have to say about it.
You have to wait to find out if it's going to be League or if it's going to be Heroes of the Storm. If Hearthstone is Dota, you know,
Right.
like, is it going to be equally popular and so therefore fun and worth investing, sustaining, or do you just stick to Hearthstone because it already won?
Right. And there is only so much time. You can't play everything. No matter how much I might have a desire to play every card game in the universe, you're going to run out of time eventually. I'm going to play this here for an hour, which we've done, but beyond that, I'll test it for a while and I'll see if it gets any popularity, and we'll see. But yeah, no, I'm going to keep on playing Hearthstone because Hearthstone's good.
Yeah, and we have Gwent on the list.
Yeah, I haven't talked about doing Gwent yet, but
eventually.
we do have more card games coming. that was the joke that we started this with, where we have the incredible collection of collectible card games coming out. Not just this one, but we're going to have the Smite card game eventually, although I'm not in that. And to break up the monotony of all of these collectible card games, next week and
we're just gonna play regular card.
We're gonna play regular card games.
Yeah,
we're gonna have Hearts and Spades coming up too.
So we played things with tiles. We played dominoes. We played mahjong.
Yep.
Now we're gonna play cards.
Yep. And I've got a solitaire game in here somewhere. I bought a lot of card and board games. I sure did.
There's definitely something really millennial about playing solitaire on Mixer, live streaming solitaire.
Yeah, that's next gen.
Yeah.
Which is very appropriate since we're Gen X.
Yeah, although there's a new generation, it's like a cusp generation between Generation X and Millennials. Zennials. I think. Xennials.
Who named that?
I don't know, probably some anthropologists or sociologists who are in their 60s. Baby boomers. Those bastards.
They've ruined everything.
They've ruined everything.
Alright. And on that note, thank you for joining us once again. Thank you, Des, for being with me and keeping this one entertained, because this was definitely better than Gwent when I was trying to do it on my own. So we'll come back in a week or so with it's gonna be Hearts with Hardwood Hearts as another backwards compatible tale. Hearts first. See you next time.
All right, bye.